developing in 3 years ago. Think about the issue of sprawl in New Jersey and how it affects music conditions here. It's also considered fine arts gallery, which means that all of the artists are from New Jersey. So let's go inside and take a look at some work. Sculpture, a freestanding site-specific sculpture by an artist named Leslie Sheryll, who lives and works in Jersey City, and it's called Urban Monsoon.
You know, I started walking around in downtown Jersey City, and I was walking through all these areas and noticing cans and bottles on the street, and my husband and I are both artists, photographers, and I just started looking at things, and they seemed kind of cool down the street. And picked them up, and there was a can, and the can they were almost like landscapes. They were they had hills and valleys, and they had history because there was dirt on top of them, and they were torn up, and I just started to collect more and more of them, and I realized two things. A, how much was laying on the ground, how much hadn't been recycled, how much had been just discarded without thinking about the environment. And also, you know, how beautiful each one was in a sense. And then I started thinking about what happens in the future. You know, we go and talk about archaeological digs, and we uncover glass and beads and pottery. And we look at them like they're absolutely amazing and beautiful. And I started thinking about what is the next group, the next civilization going to find, and they're going to find tin cans and bottles. And my new collection is gloves, millions of construction gloves that I've been finding in all of these sites. And think, well, what are we doing? What are we doing to our future? What are we doing to our environment? And where we live now.
This is a painting by an artist who lives in Palisades Park, New Jersey. Her name is Dalia El-Sayed, and she's been working in New Jersey for several years. And I think this painting, really more than any other work in the exhibition, sort of typifies the effects of sprawl. Because if you look carefully at this landscape, what she's done is she's used her own neighborhood, actually, the curves of the Palisades, as an illustration for what happens when sprawl happens to a community. So what you see here is all of the little yellow buildings are old constructions that still exist in the landscape, and all the little white shapes are new buildings, new development. And then she's put signs that say, for example, formerly swamps, now Xanadu, in a reference to the new complex that will be built. There is being built in the Meadowlands. Here it says, for example, formerly landfill, now high-end retail. A perfect example of how our landscape is being overdeveloped because of the way the economy works and the way sprawl dovetails with that. And so even though it's a really, her gesture and her technique and her methods are very minimal, you get a lot of stories from this very simple landscape, and able to think about how sprawl affects changing landscapes, about how some things change, some things never change. This is a work by an artist who lives near Trenton, New Jersey. His name is Andrew Wilkinson, and he does a lot of very interesting conceptual work, some photographic work, and most recently he's been creating sculptures in multiples. So this is actually made from cast aluminum, and the title of this piece is Not in My Backyard, and Not is spelled G-N-O-T as a reference to the gnomes. And the garden gnome is something that originated, I believe, in northern Germany in the 19th century, and they were originally made from clay and painted, very decorative. But now you can buy a garden gnome that's made out of plastic at Walmart, so it can stay in your garden much longer, long after you've gone. The garden gnome can actually stay there. So the fact that he made this in multiples is a reference to that, but also placing them on astroturf as opposed to in an actual garden setting where they'd be surrounded by potentially organic materials. He's sort of undercut that by placing it on astroturf, underscoring that plasticity of this artificial landscape that you can create entirely by plastic objects that you can purchase at local superstores that are abundant in the suburban